Hi friends, we're back for another outdoor devotional. Again today I am out sitting in the middle of a little stream here, and but don't worry, I'm not going to do the same lesson as last time, something a little different. I'm not sitting in the stream today to show you the stream itself or to show you the creek or crick. I don't know how you say it. The outdoor writer Pat McManus once said the difference between a creek and a crick depends solely on whether or not there's a tire in it. So if there's no tires in it, it's a creek. If there's tires in it, then it's a crick. I know that at some point downstream from where I'm at, I'm pretty sure there's a whole car. So you can make your own decision on what actually I'm sitting in, whether it's a creek or a crick. But the reason I'm here is not because of the creek itself, but because of this embankment. Kind of an interesting embankment here. But what I really want you to look at is that this is kind of an interesting one because you can see all the different layers within it. You've got topsoil, and then this is a little more clay with some stone in it. It gets down to several different layers, and you're almost always divided by like a layer of rock and then more dirt and rock and dirt. And that reminded me of a story that Jesus told. You can find it in Matthew chapter 7. He said that there was a wise man that built his house upon the rock, but the foolish man built his house upon the sand. And he said when the storms came of life and the flood waters rose up, everything he had was washed away. And that's very much like our little embankment here today that we're looking at, in that at some point, I'm sitting probably 6 feet below the top there, but at some point this was the surface. And what happened was, just like right now we have the water running right here, is that the water started to run and it eroded and eroded and eroded a little bit away at a time until eventually, it ate away all this dirt and rock that's there. And so now the surface has dropped down significantly. And even now where I'm sitting, we come back in 100 years, this may be even deeper, significantly deeper than it is now. The reality is that our lives are very much like this little creek bed, in that we should build our lives upon the rock. Now, for some of us, we don't really know what that means. But the reality is that we have a desire to build our house sometimes, or build up our lives on things that are attractive looking, that look like they would be easy to do. And in reality, what we're doing is we're putting our faith in things that are non-permanent, putting our faith in things that can be easily taken from us, whether or not that's a job or a relationship or health or, even the government that we live under. Sometimes we make our choices based on those experiences, those things that we see that can be our benefit, those things that we see that might be easy for us. The reality is that Jesus is saying you need to build your house. You need to put your lives with the cornerstone being that thing that's immovable, being that thing that's never going to change, that's never going to go away, that's always going to be permanent. On this life, because we experience so many different changes and things that go from one way one day and completely opposite the next, the only thing that remains the same through all time is Jesus Christ himself. He gave his life so that we could have him as a foundation for our own. So I don't know what you've built your life upon. I don't know if you've built your life upon the sands that can be easily washed away. But the reality is that these times of storm, these times of trial will come. And depending on what your foundation is, will depend on whether or not your house will stand. So I hope that today you put your faith, that you build your house upon the rock that is Jesus Christ. Hey, until we meet again, y'all take care and God bless.